a bit more delay than I expected, and also has started. There we go, yay. 3, 2, 1, we're off. We're gonna need a little bit of a resync here. This is very standard, don't worry about it. I assure you, it is no big deal at all. So, candles are tough. You know, everyone hates candles. Very clean ones coming from Zero Status, though. Yeah, no, I got there. This is my first time doing commentary with the new system, so I apologize if I am a little bit scuffed, guys. Some of this has been my fault. A little bit of it. So Area 1 is all about optimization and just getting through waves of ghosts. So the big thing that they're focused on here is trying to end each cycle of ghosts quickly, which on these single ghosts just means catch the ghost. They have to optimize movement, picking up this key, which is really hard, as you see there. And soon there will be some doubles coming up here, which also get very tough. So when you're sucking up ghosts in this game, there's quite a bit that goes into it. A little bit of a flub there from Dip, it was close. So you need to hold the opposite direction of where the ghost is facing for 10 HP, but then your vacuum's going to slow down if you keep holding it. So what you do is you sort of let go as quickly as you can and then hold again, because going back to neutral makes the speed go back up. Both of them nailing that wardrobe double. Gorgeous. Let's see if they get the second one. Wow. I'm very impressed with both of them on that, because the Area 1s were looking a little rough before that, but they did the hard part. Now, I'm not exactly sure with the way that the timer is currently cropped, if Zero Status is now synced up or not. However, if they are, obviously this is very close. I've not been keeping perfect track of that, though. Now we've got Neville, the first portrait ghost. He's going to have 100 HP, which makes that information I was telling you about sucking up the ghost fast matter a whole lot more. Definitely Zero Status there, showing a very good amount of skill on that control. He did a great suck up there on Neville. Now we've got Lydia. This room lags quite a bit, so it can at times be tricky to reduce that lag. There's a couple of things you can do. It helps to mess with those leaves in a weird way. I don't really need to get into that, but there's some stuff you can do to reduce that lag. Staying in the very corner, like they both did, helps a lot. Now, I think they're both going to go for this. Yes, they're both going to be going for the Chauncey text skip here, which is a relatively new strat. They found that if you stand in this very, very corner, you can still activate the rocking horse, but be outside of the trigger for Chauncey to talk to you. And so as long as you stay there when you hit him with the ball, then you just go straight to the second text and then start the fight. The positioning on that can be a little tough sometimes, but they both did a pretty good job. They saved some time with that. So now we've got Chauncey, the first area boss, and there's, as I'm sure that you hear every race, a very big deal thing here that I'm not sure if these runners are going to be going for, but it is a one-cycle strat that saves 34 seconds, and attempting it loses you 4 compared to a 2-cycle. So it's high reward, but it is very difficult to pull off. Yeah, it looks like Zero Status opting not to do it. And Dip going below 50 by accident. That's a shame. So this is going to lose the same time that going for the 1-cycle would have. Because when Chauncey's below 50, he does a different attack. So he's going to throw 2 extra rocking horses at Dip, and you notice that they're on the opposite side to start off this cycle. And Zero Status here cleaning up his Chauncey. Dip not too far behind from the looks of it. Again, I'm not entirely sure about the synchronization of this. So after each area, you get this cutscene. Oh, it looks like Zero Status forgetting to mash here. Or, yeah, no, I think he forgot to mash for a moment there. So yeah, after each area, you get this cutscene. There's not a lot to do here, but it is a nice break for the runners. Little just mental reset, you know, get yourself back in order. Alright, let's go on an adventure and see if I can figure out how to do that, actually. Okay. Alright, we're heading into Area 2 here, so they're going to be going to the back of the mansion, doing the bathroom to get a key to ballroom. Oh. Okay, I am figuring out how to do this. Hang on a moment. Sorry, I'm very distracted trying to fix the layout. They're doing Shy Guys, opting for different strats. Dip is doing doubles, and Zero Status trying to do the Ballroom 6 and just barely missing it. Early release there for Zero Status. That saves 10 seconds.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Alright. There we go. Hey, I got that fixed. I apologize for the bad commentary for a moment. I was figuring out how to do that. That was very difficult for me. Okay. We're there, boys. Dip not quite turning correctly to get poster skip, but a good try. Oh, and the same mistake again, unfortunately. So what you have to do to get the poster skip set up is you do have to turn manually with Luigi all the way left while not holding the vacuum. Okay, one more thing. Put 9 seconds. Are those... Does that work? I don't know how to get that to go through. Oh, you have to hit enter. Oh, okay. We'll see if that works now. No, it doesn't seem like it. Okay, I apologize. I am trying so hard to multitask here and doing a bad job. So we're going into 5 boos, where there is there's a lot of potential to save or lose time based on how these rooms go. There's a difficult text skip here that can save quite a bit. Dip opting not to try and get it, instead just checking if the boo is in there, unfortunately getting punished for that. And Zero Status finishing with Wardrobe Room, now heading into Ballroom and Storage to collect those 2 boos. And once you have 5 boos, that unlocks the door to Washroom. So that's why you go back to Area 1 here to get boos, is because you have to find 5 of them before you can get the key from Washroom. And you need that to progress, so it's the best time in the run to go collect those Area 1 boos. Especially because it gets you that that tech skip on Parlor Boo, which can be very huge. So yeah, Zero Status with quite a sizable lead already, but Dip absolutely keeping up. I'm quite impressed with Dip's early game relative to Zero Status's, considering their PB times. Oh, these boxes are very difficult to check all of at once. So when the boo's in the very back of the boxes like that, it is actually like 3D shape, the pyramid. So you have to hit the back boxes with your vacuum very carefully. Now Zero Status in Mirror Room. He's gonna get fire in here. I'm expecting to see a save warp on fire. He's got a pretty commendable time, so I imagine he's going to be routing it that way. And pretty good double there from Zero Status. Yeah, nice and clean on those. Oh, I think pretty far left in the room though, so he doesn't get to knock to activate the boo right away. So yeah, he's going to do some weird movement here, and that is so that he can get the medallion after the boo. And now he's going to save warp out so that he doesn't have to solve the puzzle in this room. He also resets the cycle of the butler, so that will be in the perfectly optimal spot as long as he does good movement here. And you also skip the text on the fire medallion. And because all three of those things happen at once, it's a time save. It's a complicated difference, but yeah, if it weren't for all three of those things contributing to the strat, any of them individually would not be worth doing the save warp, but all together they are. Yes, they are on the same route so far. There's not a lot of variation that can happen up to this point in the route. Again, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if Dip... Oh, actually, no, it looks like Dip is going to be going for fire save and quit. Nice. So yeah, that is a bit of a difficult strat to be going for, but absolutely clean. There you go. That was the first place where they might have differentiated, but it doesn't really change all that much, as I was saying. It's pretty comparable time-wise. So you want to clear laundry room here like Zero Status is doing before you get the butler, because you're going to come back through here, and so this chest will give you that cutscene again if you don't open it. So it saves you time because you have to wait for the butler to sit down before you can get him anyway. So during that time you clear that room, you open the chest, and you activate the mouse hole like you saw him do there so that you can text skip on this this boo. Dip opting to get the golden mouse there, that's kind of funny. That is obviously not helpful in this category, but it is amusing. Now, Hidden Room is a very difficult room. It looks like, so far, quite good control of it there from Zero Status. Yeah, clean room. Now Dip is in the laundry room. We'll see if Dip can get the chest cutscene skip. Oh, no. Gonna struggle there a little bit. Dip is gonna have to worry here about the butler. Yeah, good choice to just head in here. Hopefully Dip now knows to go right back into that room after the butler. It looks like Dip is trying to do that. Good. Meanwhile, Zero Status heading out of laundry room in his own way. Area 2 is a very difficult part of this game. I think especially this water split here is so difficult to optimize. And it really can catch you off guard with how hard it is too, because you think of Area 4 as just easily the hardest part of this run, but oh, this split I think is as hard as some of the ones in Area 4. So it looks like Dip is playing on English, which I hadn't been paying attention to until just this second. But that does make sense. So they don't actually get to do the same text skip that we saw Zero Status do, because that was patched in the American version. Having a little bit of trouble, like I said, Hidden Room's very difficult. It's a great idea to be using that fire as much as Dip was. That really helps you keep this room under control once it gets messed up. Yeah, it's very important to note as well, yeah, that Dip is taking double damage relative to Zero Status. That is another change in the American version. You see that 36 health looking very intimidating because that can be just 2 hits. With certain things, that can be 1 hit. Zero status here, getting water. Oh, Dip's struggling with that poison mushroom and boo combo. That was so brutal. I don't even know what you do there. Dip played that as well as he could have. That was an intimidating combo. Alright, very clean boost. Oh, never mind. I cursed zero status. The good clutch there, though. Just had to move a little bit further from the door that zero status was trying to get to with that boo dragon. It is particularly easy to have boos get away from you at specifically 0 HP. Because your auto lock works differently on the last frame to actually suck them up as opposed to when you're doing damage. Yes, so poison mushrooms, that is correct, do not do damage to you. You drop a bunch of coins when you get hit by them, but they don't actually do damage. They just make you take double damage while you're shrunk down. Yeah, and you can see Dip concerned about this HP, which is very reasonable. I think missing that heart, though, because of the cutscene trigger. And zero status here, heading into the second area boss, Bogmire. I'm waiting to see... I think they did go for an angle change there on Luigi to try and spawn Bogmire differently, I think. It's very subtle, so it's hard for me to tell. I think that they went for it. So we'll see if Bogmire spawns in his usual position to the right. I might be wrong about this. No, they did go for it. He spawns actually further away because it was not quite the right angle. There's a way to manipulate Bogmire to go to a position to your left that's a bit closer. It is a very precise input on the C-stick, though, so it often will lead to Bogmire spawning, particularly over in that exact spot, but a couple other places as well. Because basically, Bogmire's position is entirely dependent on where Luigi is, and you're always in the same spot at the beginning unless you move as the cutscene loads in. And so you have to move a very, very specific amount in order to get him to go where you want him to go. It's basically impossible to control exactly where he goes with the control stick, but because the C-stick just turns you instead of moving you, you can have like a less precise position change. Dip struggling quite a bit to find this boo. Wow, yeah. Oh man, that was pretty brutal there. And zero status about to head into area 3. Gonna go to courtyard. And this is a bit of just a walking segment. So we're gonna pay attention to Dip here, going into Spooky the Dog. You gotta dodge him twice, and then get hit on the third one, and shake him off to spawn Mr. Bones optimally. Oh, Dip actually dodging the third one. Okay, so Mr. Bones will spawn a bit later. Luckily, not getting scared by Mr. Bones, which can cause you to get hit while you're not able to control Luigi. Now let's see how they do with the graveyard. Opting to get some HP, again, very understandable on this version of the game. Wow, they tried to go for the new double there, and I absolutely commend it. I was just practicing that, in fact, and really struggling with it, so very impressive to see them go for that. Now Zero Status heading back up the well and is going to be walking right through Biff's room, picking up a key while they're at it. Dip, unsurprisingly, not going for the manip on Bogmire. As I was saying, it is a very small time save on that, and very finicky. Not something you should put your attention towards until you're quite high level, in my opinion. Now, interesting strat here from Zero Status on T-Room. Goes a little bit awry. T-Room is another very difficult room. They get it back together there, though. It was very helpful that the Grabber Ghost spawned on the right side where they were. And trying to read the Boo here. Activating a trap in the very left drawer. Dip gets through Bogmire there. A little bit of a struggle doing it, but absolutely powering through. Now it's important to grab ice there like Zero Status did because you need it for Petunia. And that room will be touched again later in the run just to get the same ice. As there are not many locations to do that in this game. So this is Petunia. She pulls very hard. Can be a little bit tricky to get the hang of sucking her up. But a stellar job from Zero Status there. Now he'll be heading into Nana. You gotta hit Nana with 3 balls. It's very finicky and can go quite wrong. If you miss any of them, you've got to leave the room and come back. It's pretty punishing. Not to mention the fact that if you're not super careful with them, they can actually just shoot out of your vacuum without you even doing it. It is avoidable, but it's finicky, like I was saying. So yeah, you see Zero Status taking this super carefully to avoid that happening, but unfortunately losing a lot of time to it. But yeah, clutching it out first try still, through the struggle. It was probably a wise idea to take it nice and safe, because again, it's gonna lose even more time than that to miss it. Now, getting the Boo with the utmost of ease, very clean. And grabbing that key. So now comes Astral Hall. Gotta grab some fire on the way there, because you're gonna be lighting the candles in that room. Very clean movement, except for missing the 1 candle. Oh. So you do want to just pan all the way from the top left and then clockwise until you get to the bottom left. But that movement is super precise, and it's fun to do once you've got the hang of it, but it can be quite frustrating to mess it up. And the moment that you have all the candles lit and you're standing in the center of that circle, Luigi will start walking towards the very center, no matter where you are. So that positions you wherever the opposite of where he's walking is where he's facing. Or rather, I guess, the direction he picks to walk is where you're going to end up facing. And so that can really mess you up, because the ghosts spawn instantly in that room unless you're looking at them. So if you end up looking at one of the two, it makes the double way harder to do and slower. Very clean boo there from Zero Status. And Dip just finishing up Tea Room now. Saving back a bit of time with that Tea Room, if I'm not mistaken. Now we've got Moonshot. You gotta be in exactly the right spot with the vacuum here when you let go of this meteor. And Zero Status absolutely nails that.
Mario.
Yeah, boo all the way on the left for Dip there. Now let's see how Zero Status does dragging this this star backwards. That can be a goofy thing to try to optimize, because there are walls around this this pathway. Yeah, you see, like I said, a little goofy trying to optimize it sometimes, because you do want to pull it back towards you so that you get movement towards the door you're going out, but you got to avoid it getting stuck on the walls. Oh, Dip's so close to the one cycle, just 3 HP away. And also missing the ice to get the instant respawn on Petunia. Once you break off of Petunia, you can actually just put ice wherever she was when she broke off, and she'll appear instantly instead of waiting for that respawn like Dip did. I believe Dip was going for that and just didn't actually touch the right spot with the ice. But yeah, it's a small time loss. Much cleaner yarn balls from Dip than Zero Status. Those were spectacular. And Zero Status here working on Projection Room. Very clean double. Let's see about the triple. Looking good. Opting to go to the right side of the room, check for the boo.
Oh, yeah.
The boo is on the right side, although not quite ideally. And it looks like we are going to be going for... Oh! Yikes! Okay, good. Got it back under control. Gonna be going for a save warp here with this glove. Oh, just barely missing it. You want to, in that extra step of movement there, pick up the glove to save time. But you only get a little tiny bit of movement, so it can be quite hard to position correctly. So yeah, just taking the mirror instead of save warping there. Oh, Dip unfortunately getting punched by the golden ghost there. And very rare bad RNG there from Zero Status. You don't see that boo in that, what is it even, like a light or a coat rack or something in the left side of the room? Whatever it is, the boo is very rarely in there. Yeah, Astral Hall just, really, rearing its ugly head at Dip here. So for twins, you want to put your vacuum on each of the boxes, see if they shake. You're hoping for the two in the top left.
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't quite see if that was the other one. No, it wasn't. Okay. But not bad at all. Yeah, I'm assuming... Yes, absolutely going for singles on these. The double is very difficult to set up, but it has come into popular favor lately. can be tricky to get this guy off of his plane, especially with what happened there. There's a weird property of the plane where it sometimes just gets stuck and it takes longer to get the twin off of it. Okay, picking up the shoe, doing 2 damage, which means this boo is going to try very hard to leave. Oh, but gets it back under control because the boo was actually in a laughing animation, which I didn't see. Getting a little bit more leeway than I thought there. It was very helpful there. Now Dip heading to a projection room as well. Very difficult read in this room. The radar always feels so goofy in this room. I swear it's... I've heard people say that it actually is something that it varies based on, like, whether there was, like, a boo in the hallway before you enter the room or something like that, I've heard. I don't know the specifics of this. I just fear for my sanity when I think about it too much. Oh, just barely missing that tech skip. Zero Status had to be very careful with how much the cloth was pulled off. And ended up being too far away. Oh, scanning the bed too. Re-aiming very cleanly though, and getting the mirror warp that was intended. Now we've got Clairvoyant. The most fun part of the game. This is why you should pick up Luigi's Mansion if you don't already run it. Is because you can just cancel your gym membership. You get a lot of reps in with this. You'll end up looking like Biff Atlas. All arms and non-existent legs. Oh, Dip losing that boo into dining room, which is very rough to recover from. There's a couple of options to try and deal with that. Dip elects to just go walk to dining room, try to get the boo back into the hallway, which is lit up. You cannot catch boos in dark rooms. This could get very scary. Okay. Kitchen, not ideal here, but at least a room that is lit up. And at this point, I think it's gonna be faster to just walk out the room. It looks like Dip is choosing to save warp, which isn't that much slower. I'm not even certain that I'm correct about that, but I would have walked. I don't know. You know what, that might have been the right call, actually. Yeah, that might have been the right call. I actually really couldn't tell you. It's such a weird situation to be in. Alright, Zero Status now done with Clairvoyant. Looking for the boo in here. Finding the trap. Good job on Dip getting that fire. That's pretty important after the save warp there. Ooh. Scary boo to lose track of, but absolutely nothing wrong with how Zero handled that. Dip, having the famous struggle with the mobile that happens to us all at times. If you lose the momentum on that thing, getting it going again can be so tricky. There's that ice I mentioned that you have to get. That looked like both in the top left, I think. Oh no, I'm just making things up. Yeah, no, in fact, worst luck, not best. Oh man, Zero Status accidentally getting hit by the spark in the hallway. Very long animation for that one. Oh wow! Dip getting a double on the twins. Let's see if they clutch out the suck up. How about that, dude? Insane. Oh, a little bit of a miss there from Zero Status. Now, these guys can just spawn next to each other to help out, but they choose not to. Absolutely not bros. And there's the boo for Zero Status. Choosing to get it before the key. There's a couple ways you could have handled that. Oh, there you go. Getting the key in the middle. That's a great one. Very good option there. I should have had more faith. That was even better than the option that I thought that they were going for. And now we've got Boolossus. While Dip finishes up the last trip to the Area 1 Hollow. Or, no, actually, second to last. Don't forget about Blackout. So what we're looking for here from Zero Status is a nice, clean ice shot straight down the middle of a cluster of boos after walking across the whole field. Because you can get them nice and grouped up. And it is really, really hard to pick them off one by one. It helps a ton to get them all at once. Oh. Okay, the ice was behind it. I thought it wasn't there at all. So that's very relieving for Zero that the ice was accessible there. It can travel quite far during the time that you don't have control, and chasing it down can take away a lot of your time to one cycle. Beautiful job managing that, though. So there you go, that's Area 3. On to the hardest area of the game. And here, Dip, again, getting the workout for the day. Burning calories. Almost done here. I think this is the last text. No, absolutely not the last text. I was not actually paying attention, and you know what? I realized that in my head I was going off of the timing of text boxes in Japanese. Japanese text and English text do actually scroll differently. They don't just have different lengths of text. That is the last one. Clairvoya has a completely unique method of sucking her up, that she's the only ghost anything like her, because lore-wise, she's actually not fighting against you. She asks to be put into a painting. And so what they did is they actually reversed the controls, where instead of Dip accidentally opening that door, the hitbox for that door is huge, and trying to knock on this often will open that door. Anyway, the controls for Clairvoya are that you need to point any direction that is not opposite her for 1 frame, and then I believe towards her for 10, instead of holding the opposite direction for 10 frames and then neutral for 1. So yeah, both of them walking upstairs at the same time. Not the same staircase, not the same part of the run, but it looked very synced up and it was kind of funny. Zero Status here going to trigger Blackout, and then heading right back down where they came from to get Grimlet. And Dip heading up here to Safari Room. Can be a little bit difficult to get these guys optimally. What you like to do is spray the element before they spawn, because that way you don't actually freeze them over, but you still get the cancel on the water that they have. And so then you can just stun them instead of standing there waiting for the slow damage. Ooh. There was a little bit of a difficult situation there for Dip with the banana landmines that were surrounding them, but they dealt with it. There you go. Gotta be careful of that, bananas too. Okay, there you go. Zero Status choosing to do a standard control blackout, which is a bit more difficult. It saves you a pause, or well, I guess 2 pauses. Very good Grimly there. That can last an infinite amount of time. You don't typically see it go that long, though. It, on average, you'll get, like, less than 8 seconds. Now we've got Dip heading into Bulossus. And Zero Status going to Breaker Room. I'd be surprised if we see an attempt at Breaker Boo one cycle, but it could happen. We'll check it out. Yeah, opting not to. I agree with the decision. It is a high-risk, high-reward thing to go for Breaker Boo one cycle because it is a faster boo to get than Van Gore Boo. However, it very frequently will leave to the left and end up in Pipe Room, which you do not plan to clear whatsoever. And so if they go in there, you basically have to just replace the boo entirely, either by attempting the one cycle all over, clearing Pipe Room, and going for specifically Breaker Boo and trying not to spawn Pipe Boo, or you have to just get a different boo altogether. So, not really something that you see a lot in these races unless you're looking at someone who is very confident. Dip definitely having difficulty here with this Bulossus. As I said, once you have a couple of the boos caught on Bulossus, but you don't get the one cycle, it becomes a lot more difficult to finish off the fight. A pretty commendable effort to clean it up so far. Absolutely, like, using the correct strats, knowing the game. Yeah, absolutely. That's what you hope for when you don't one cycle, is exactly what we saw there. It can be much worse than that, let me tell you. Now Zero Status heading into Attic, gonna fight the soldiers so that they can go to the rooftop. And yeah, Dip heading into Area 4 here. Certainly a sizable lead from Zero Status here. Very impressed with some of the gameplay from both of these players. Ooh, a little bit of a struggle there on the first soldier. They do break off easy, these guys. And they love to just spin around you, and they have a very precise angle you have to pull to get the damage. So all of that combines into them being absolute menaces. Yeah, you see how much time is being spent without doing damage. That's because you have to pull a pretty precise angle to do damage at all to them. And they love to swing around you. They go crazy, they go buck wild. opting to burn the Shy Guys, which is a good choice there. You can technically save a tiny bit of time by choosing to get all of the Shy Guys in one suck-up, but it's pretty difficult to save time doing.
Mario.
Oh, dropping off of the ladder, unfortunately, by pressing A too late. And then pulling out the vacuum in order to drop down the ladder instead of climbing down it, saving some time on movement. Dip starting on blackout here as well. Now zero status heading into Armory Room. There are quite a few different ways to clear this room. There's a lot of different strats for this. I don't know if that picks up on the mic, but it's storming where I am. Just setting the mood, you know, it's storming in Luigi's mansion too.
Oh yeah.
Alright. Oh, a little bit of struggle there. Can save the triple. Oh, barely missing the backup. Yeah, would have had to delay the R press just a moment to get that triple there. Good read on the radar. Does find a trap first and not the boo, but the other spot is right up there. A little bit of a struggle to read it. It is in that armor statue to the right there, yeah. Also not oh, actually, no, that was a switch, I think, right? I'm not crazy, right? That was a switch. Yeah, no, that had to be. I really doubted myself for a second there. I just missed the audio on the switch. Okay. And a very clean one cycle. That one cycle can be quite difficult because this room lags, and so you have to really manually time each of your R pumps. When Luigi's Mansion lags, instead of like the way that a lot of games work, it does actually just slow down the entire game to keep 30 FPS going. So you do end up with just yeah, the game running at the right frame rate, but also slowing down the actual gameplay that you're doing. Now, Dip actually choosing to go for Breaker Boo, it looks like. And unfortunately doing 0 damage there, that's quite rough. That's going to be hard to get the double from, too, because of the scare. Yeah. Alright, so 0 status here, heading through Pipe Room. Again, you don't actually clear this room in the route that 0 status is doing, so just grabbing the key and heading out. And going to Weston. Dip cleaning up that cellar and looking for the boo. Poison mushroom spawns, that's a scary movement pattern. Pulling out the camera, smart. You cannot be hit by a poison mushroom while you have the camera open. It is a very nice way to deal with that a lot of the time, is to just eat the time loss, pull open the camera, and stand there until it goes away. Very nice Weston from 0 status there. My goodness. And getting the boo spawned nice and quick there. Great decision to spam the fireballs to keep your vacuum out sooner. It also looks funny. I don't believe this one cycle. Yeah. Again, another very difficult boo to one cycle. That is what makes Area 4 so hard, is just each of these rooms has its own pitfalls, and a lot of them lose quite a bit of time per mistake. Another save warp here in order to get back to the foyer, and then heading up to Van Gore. Dip also walking up the mansion right now for different reasons. Heading on to do the toy soldiers. So Van Gore can be quite a gauntlet to run. You've got to get a triple of most of the types of ghosts in the game. And you want to approach each of them slightly differently. For example, the golden ghosts are very simple. You just walk right up to them, put your flashlight, press R. Not much to worry about aside from missing all of them with your flashlight. But then, once you get on to the ones like the twirlers, they're scary. The green ghosts, you gotta like push them together and then pull back. And even then they can drop bananas, which you can slip on as you finish up the suck up. The Shy Guys, obviously, you have to pull off their masks. So you gotta approach each of these completely uniquely from each other. These ones, you want to kind of get them to like wind up at you. Nice and clean. Beautiful. Dip heading up to rooftop, doing the Shy Guy burn as well. Very nice on the grabber triple. That one's very tough because you can't stay too close to them. And it's always easier to get a ghost that you are closer to in this game. It gives you a huge amount of preference to get their heart. Basically, the further away you are when you hit a ghost with your flashlight, the less frames that their heart will be there before they despawn. And that means less frames to press the R button. Your vacuum also has to go further to reach them. So the combination of those two things makes it so that it's very preferable to be close to a ghost and specifically moving towards it and not backing away from it. But yeah, very clean Van Gore there from Zero Status. Super impressive. Going for this last boo to get the 40 cap that you need to enter the final boss. Now this is the only boo in this version of the game that you cannot one-cycle. Because it only leaves the room in one direction. And once you get to these very high HP boos, the way that you can squeak out one-cycles is by having them switch the direction that they're going between two walls while you do damage. But that is not an option here, so you see this strat of entering the room before the boo in order to get it to come through the wall without another animation and still reset the boo so that you can do the R pumps again. Yeah, taking... Oh, one more cycle than I thought even. Yeah, quite a few cycles on this. It's a very difficult boo. However, as I was saying, less difficult than Breaker Boo, for sure. Because this one, no matter how many times that you don't get like the cycle that you're looking for, you just keep trying instead of just losing the boo entirely after one cycle. So while I was focused on Zero Status, Dip has powered all the way through the armor room. Oh, that's a rough start. Very rough start on this boo. They nearly saved that. I'm impressed with the clutch up at the end there, but not quite enough to one cycle. Not a huge amount of time lost to just bring them right back in here.
Mario.
And we've got 0 status heading into the final boss here. Now, the final boss in this game is absolutely not trivial. It is pretty difficult to do. Now, I am hoping personally that Dip does not go back for Breaker. Okay, yeah. Firm handshakes. I think that's a good decision. When you save warp from the mansion, boos do go back to the original room that they're from and get healed back to full. So Breaker Boo was back in that room, however, yeah, I personally think that it was the right choice to just opt for Weston and Van Gore as the last 2 boos. Let's see how 0 status does on Bowser. Looks like they're setting up for the insta-shot. Nice. Yep, going for the 2 cycles. Beautiful first cycle. That was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, Dip really struggling on HP here, yeah. Yeah, that was a nuts first cycle on Bowser. Absolutely nuts. Ooh, should be fine. Had a lot of extra damage to work with. Oh, but 3 HP. Oh, very unfortunate there for 0 status. But now there is no way that this goes wrong. They just have it in the bag. There it is. 102.30 for 0 status, taking the win in the race. Oh my god, look at Dip's Weston. Oh my god, Dip, that Weston! That was insane too. You're both ridiculous at this game. So what happened on the final boss there for 0 status was, yes, running out of time specifically because King Boo was too far left. When he's closer to Bowser's body, then you can't keep him out with R pumps for as long as if he's further away. And so just enough time, not keeping the vacuum on King Boo, and him moving all the way left as the vacuum was not there, meant that that did not quite work out. Yep, Dip getting the save warp here, gonna head up to Van Gore. I'm just gonna be unprofessional and ask right now. Do I mark finished? Oh, I do. Okay, never mind. I figured it out. 0 status is done. Okay, there we go. Yeah, again, my first time doing commentary with this. I apologize for a couple of hiccups I caused, but hopefully I made up for it with LM knowledge or something. And it looks like 0 status will be joining us for an interview while Dip finishes up here. Hello, 0 status. We cannot hear you. Oh, there we go. how do you feel about your run?
I to be like, I hated that run because it felt awful. That, like, numerically, the time was not that bad, but that was just kind of miserable the whole time. Besides, like,
I totally
Boo.
understand.
Armory Boo was good, and the Full Cycle on King Boo fell apart. But
What I would say is your highs were high.
it didn't felt like I had too many of them, which is kind of the, like, some runs aren't like that, but I think it didn't do as bad as it could have.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
take
yeah.
it. I'll take it.
Well, I think that you did a pretty good job, and you will be moving on to the next round. Dip, unfortunately, out of the tournament now. But we have a little bit more left in the run to beat Dip. I was very impressed with your first cycle of Bowser there.
Yeah,
We were all very impressed.
I was feeling it. I was like, wow, this is going great. Because like 234 was like, I was practicing a little bit control. And then it turned like, I'm like, wow, 234, that's really good. And then it just kind of is a shot. I'll do this, and then I just was like kind of careless. And I think that was probably the biggest issue. But
Yeah, you also got quite unlucky with the movement pattern that King Boo did, because he moved all the way left when you didn't have your vacuum on him, which means he was closer to Bowser's body, which makes him enter earlier while you're doing R pumps.
yeah, you know, sometimes he's just not the nicest guy, you know?
He's not the nicest guy, King Boo.
Yeah.
I've been saying.
Like, between him and like Luigi, I feel like I didn't even have orange that bad until there was the one text in the master bedroom. I was like, oh.
Yeah, you did just barely miss that tech skip and got punished real hard for it, yeah. I do think this has been quite a showcase of how difficult Van Gorbu is as well.
I probably should have like let him go to the center a lot earlier than I did, but I wanted to try to let him go.
I respect that you were going for the optimization on it, and you did like a pretty good job of grabbing him. It was just, yeah, you kept letting him go just long enough.
The first one, he was way in the back, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna double cackle him like 4 times, and I'll just lose him at like 40. I'm like, okay, that's fine. That I didn't get that. And then he came back in the ring, and I just kind of missed him, and I was like, oh, okay, you know what? He's going to miss him. He's did
Grabbing fire there is an interesting decision, but we won't fault him for it. Heading down to the final boss now.
I don't know.
Dip actually looking on pace to get a time not too far off of their PB.
It's gonna be close, I think, but I think it would also probably be some second.
I don't believe it can PB with a 2-cycle Bowser. I would have to look at the exact second of their PB, but it will be within the same minute of their PB if they 2-cycle. If they 3-cycle, then definitely not. Opting to grab a Sapphire.
Oh,
Comfort Sapphire.
You know what we can say? It probably does have more money, and to some people, that's what really matters. I think I'm not sure about English text, but it's gonna be close with the 2-cycle, I believe. It's the 111.
Yeah, definitely going to need Going to need a 2-cycle. I think might. If it was a 3-cycle with instant shots, I don't know how that affects it. It might get close to the same sort of time. Yeah, it was a 109. Let's see what Dip can do here with Bowser. Either way, very commendable to be around your PB time in the race. Oh, going for the insta shot, not quite yet. Yeah. I've been very impressed with some of the high level strats that Dip has gone for and gotten in this run. You can definitely see from Dip's gameplay that they are a huge Luigi's Mansion speedrun fan, and they know a lot about the game. Yeah, when King Boo's through the walls there, your vacuum bounces off the wall and you can't reach him. Yeah, that's an unfortunate first cycle there. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, that's looking nice and clean. Very scary HP though. Gotta not get hit by an ice shot. And pretty decent damage there. Oh, careful there. Gotta back up. Good stuff. Don't get hit by fall. Surgical. Absolutely surgical. Come on, bring it down to just over 2. Oh, okay, going below. Gonna be a little bit rough here. Hopefully at least getting some parts out of the pillars as Bowser walks around. Good game knowledge to stand there so that Bowser cannot hit you. Getting some hearts as well. Okay, much less scary now. Oh, just barely missing that pickup. Just one more wave of balls. Hopefully King Boo doesn't go out of bounds. Oh, Bowser's gonna walk forward. Perfect. And there it is. With a 1:13:31, Dip has finished. Very good game to both players. Dip will now have the option to come in here for an interview. It looks like they will. Welcome, Dip. How did you feel about your run?
Well, I came into it treating it like it was a meme. I knew good and well a week ago I was not winning this race. So I said to myself that I'm just going to have fun with it. Too bad my fun most of the time almost got me killed.
I did pick up on some of your amusing antics. I liked the golden mouse before the butler.
Yeah, my area 2 is notoriously bad. So
It's
I
a tough
usually
area,
just
yeah.
do what I just do what I can. Like I have not successfully gotten poster skip once.
If you'd like some advice
I know
on that,
how to do it. I just can't.
That's fair enough. Yeah. Well,
Hope
I
made
think
some
that you
people
did
impressed.
a very good job. Some of the high-level strats that you went for and even got were so impressive. And that Weston was a thing of beauty.
Oh yeah, I didn't really think too much of it because I was just trying not to die to icicles.
Well, you got like a really good one cycle on him.
Yeah, I guess by that point I was just too worried, and also I have a wife in the background who's brought me food at that exact moment, so I wasn't really thinking about it.
Maybe that's the key to your success. You need a little distraction in your life.
That's right.
Well, I think that you both did a wonderful job. I really enjoyed commentating. I hope you guys enjoyed racing, and I hope everyone watching enjoyed that too.
Yeah, congratulations, Zero.
Thank you. Good race.
Yeah, GG.